Welcome, college basketball fans, to the Full Court Press Podcast with LT and Sammy D. This is the podcast that brings you legendary stories from college basketball's golden era and dives in deep with a current analysis of today's game. Get ready for the most energetic and entertaining college basketball podcast around. Let's get it.
Hello and welcome to another Full Court Press, a college basketball coaches show powered by simply the Full Court Network. Luke Taylor back in the saddle. Sam has taken a long, much-needed siesta. It seems like when the summer comes out, Sam is too good for college basketball, I guess. But don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review where you can, whether you're watching us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Smash the subscribe button. So we have a gentleman who I was joking off air. He has something in common with Matt McConnell. He's never left the school. He played there. He coached there. He's been the head coach there. I think McConnell did leave, but we got simply known as Richard Barton McConnell, coach of the St. Mary Gales, simply known as Mickey. What's going on, Coach?
Not much. I appreciate you having me on. I'm excited to get going.
But Richard Barton. Richard Barton. I like it. Yeah. Sir. They should call you Sir Richard Barton. I guess you got to win a couple WCCs before they call you Sir Richard.
No, it's grandparents' names. So I got named after my grandparents. So, yeah.
I love it. I love it. So, player of the year in 2011, assistant coach, associate head coach. What did you do to finally get Coach Bennett to leave?
Oof, I don't know if it's anything I did. I mean, he gave 25 years to this place, and well deserved. I think ASU, obviously, him being from there was kind of one of those jobs that he was kind of always had his eye on, and just happened to work out that it opened up and was the right time, right situation for him. So, he'll do great there. I'm excited for them.
Yep. So how does it work? You're associate head coach. I mean, you pretty much guaranteed the job, or how does that work? How did the discussions go with him? Obviously, you had some intimate discussions with him through the whole process. Kind of take me through it.
Yeah, I had a good feeling that I would get it. Coach Bennett obviously had been here so long. He had a lot of say in it. So he was extremely helpful in getting all that stuff lined up. And, it was, even though I expected to get it, it was still, that first 24 hours, first week or two was, it was hectic. So a lot of stuff you just don't know. And you can try to get as prepared as you can, but with the portal opening, guys leaving, guys staying, trying to get a hold of all their parents and whoever you had to talk to. So it was a crazy couple of weeks, but I'm extremely grateful to be in this position, and it's definitely slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, it's got to be tough for Coach Bennett because obviously he's got was successful at St. Mary's. It's kind of like I equated to Coach K. Who's your favorite player you're going to pick to take the Duke job?
Yeah, I was just kind of lucky enough that I was the one that was here when he left. We've had so many great coaches that have come through. When I was a player, I played with Todd Golden, but we had Kyle Smith, David Patrick, Rick Croy, Ron Gannott, Adam Capehorn, and I'm missing a few. So we've had a lot of great coaches come through, and it just kind of happened that I was maybe the one that was left here. I played here, so obviously that gives me a little bit of an upper hand.
Yeah. So what's the plan? Obviously, you're the head coach now, much deserved. So we're excited for your era to start at St. Mary's. Is it going to be a little bit of the old? Is it going to be some new? Like what if someone said, like, what's the expectation, I guess, for your coaching philosophy and style?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of the old and some new, just with my personality. I think, where Coach Bennett did such a great job was he built a program. And I think in college basketball, especially, you have to build a foundation that can last through the year. And, it was built on a lot of, having great attitude, work ethic, leadership, all those things that, guys can control. And he did a great job of recruiting that as well. So we'll continue to do that because I think that's what, the little margins that you can win. And then I think defensively, rebounding, those things raise your floor. And I think that's something that we've done at a really high level here that we'll continue to do. And we'll get guys that are tough, disciplined, gritty, and kind of keep playing that way. And then offensively, I think the foundation of playing unselfish, moving the ball, getting guys that are skilled and can play multiple positions is something that we'll look for. And but we'll play similar style, but a little different as far as what we're running in the half court, how we get into some things, maybe a little bit more up and down in transition. So I'm going to put my personality is different than Coach Bennett. So a little bit more of my personality into all that stuff. But I think at the same time is just trying to keep what St. Mary's, what has made St. Mary's so special. It's, the community feel, the alumni, all that stuff ties into us having a great program.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Coach Bennett leaves, and now Gonzaga's going too. How different is the WCC going to be? I mean, I feel like there's kind of this underlying tone on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it's called, and whatever, Instagram, whatever, that the WC is going to be down. But if you look at the moves they've made, especially with like Coach Blout at San Diego, Coach Aldridge coming to Pepperdine, you being elevated. I mean, I don't think the WCC is going to skip a beat.
Yeah, it's I've gotten the question a lot, but it's hard to know. Obviously, you're going to miss Gonzaga and what they've brought to our league, the rivalry. They're one of the best teams in the country. So
you ain't going to miss the travel.
Yeah. So I can do without going to Spokane maybe, but yeah. I do think that WCC's always had great coaches, and that hasn't changed. Even when I was back playing, it's always been that, and it's still an underrated league. I mean, Santa Clara, San Francisco, LMU. Go down the list of teams and great coaches.
Yep.
Yeah, year in, year out, these teams are having success, and I do think that a lot of these teams have invested heavily in men's basketball. So, and that's what you want. You want these teams to try to take a step forward, and I do think our conference can continue to do that.
Yeah, I totally think so, and I just it's going to be exciting. I mean, you're obviously not skipping a beat with scheduling. Is that getting tougher and tougher? The last couple of years, you're kind of smiling underneath. Is that been kind of the biggest challenge this offseason that you've kind of faced?
Yes and no. I mean, part of it is we have to schedule a certain way that you want to get so many quad 1 games, you want to get so many quad 2 games. So you're trying to thread a needle a little bit on making sure that your schedule's not too overloaded, but also trying to get enough quality games. And I think, the past 5 or 6 years, we've done a great job of being able to schedule to try to get in that large bid. So that's what we want to try to continue to do. We don't want to ideally play for the last weekend in March. So we're going to try to schedule that way. We might, we're going to have to go play a few more games on the road, maybe a few more neutrals just to make up for the couple games with Gonzaga that you don't get. But we'll try to be aggressive on it while trying to also get quality games at home, which has always been a difficult thing for us to do.
Yeah, they don't understand. It's sunny in California, especially in the winter.
It's a beautiful place.
It is. I exactly know where you are. I've got family up in Alamo and Walnut Creek and stuff like that in Danville. So I know it. It's a beautiful school and what have you. I think you just need to reach out to Kyle Smith and see if Stanford will play a home and home with you. We've had him on the show. That's why I say that. But I just look at it. I mean, that's the biggest thing with coaches right now is the non-conference scheduling. And, I asked Ryan Miller, who you might know or might know of, who's at Murray State, came from Creighton, obviously good pedigree like yourself. And I said, can Murray State, and I guess the same thing with the St. Mary's, can you guys still be the way the kind of the current college basketball landscape is? Can a St. Mary's be a Sweet 16 team every year? Is it getting tougher to do it? Is it impossible? I mean, you see Gonzaga doing it. You guys are right there too. There's a couple others, but is it still attainable?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Obviously, it's, the way college basketball is going, it's becoming more difficult. But I do think that it's a little bit underestimated. It's tough to get in the NCAA tournament. Like getting in is hard enough. And then once we've been lucky enough to advance and get to the second round. Once you get in the second round, you're playing Alabama, UCLA, UConn. So you're playing teams that are, those high major teams. But for us, it's, you just have to get in those games first. And I think for the way we're trying to schedule in the non-conference is maybe play a few more of those games early on so that you have a little bit more familiarity once you get into the tournament, hopefully. But I think it's attainable. Obviously, it's a little more difficult than it probably was 15 years ago. But for us, the goal is going to be the same. And I think that's
Yeah.
kind of how we have to approach it. Our staff, our players, that's what they signed up for. So we have a lot of work to do. It's never easy to get there, but that will be the goal kind of for us moving forward.
Yeah. Now I have a little bone to pick with you. I see you were drafted by the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm a Toronto Blue Jays fan, and you guys broke my heart. So are you a Dodgers fan because you were drafted by them? Like, how does that work? I know you didn't play pro baseball. You're probably surprised you got drafted because you kind of just stopped playing baseball, right? Correct?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm from Arizona. So to be honest, I'm a Diamondbacks fan.
I'm sorry to hear that. It's okay.
Yeah, it's tough for me for the Dodgers thing too. But I didn't play in college, got drafted after, and I was completely surprised. My brother had been playing minor league baseball, so I was familiar with how it was. And when I had the choice I think it was like $1,000 signing bonus. So it was either that or go play overseas, and I took the overseas option.
Did you get a free jersey from the Dodgers?
I didn't. That's one thing I got to try to get.
How do they draft you? They don't even
When
say
you get drafted past the 30th round, I think they just forget about you.
Yeah, I'll send you a jersey. I might not afford to have your whole name on the back, but we'll get you a fancy Dodgers jersey. We'll get it from I know exact place where I can get it from too. It'll be real nice. It might be very heavy and not cotton, but it has the touch. It has the touch.
I'll take it.
Well, that's kind of disappointing you don't get a jersey. But anyway, here nor there. So you obviously were a good basketball player, a great point guard. How has playing that position kind of shaped you as a coach?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just the responsibility you have on the court. And, as the point guard, I grew up, my dad's a high school coach, still coaching. So it was something that I was always around, and he always harped on me to make sure I was using my voice on the court. And Coach Bennett was the same way. So it's a lot of responsibility, but it also, once you're the leader on the court, it gives you more equity in the locker room. So you just get used to dealing with different types of people. And then I think playing overseas, I played on 8 different teams in 8 years. You're playing with guys that are 40 years old from different countries, different places.
It's just like college basketball now. You're playing with 40-year-olds.
True. It's trending that way. So you just get used to dealing with different types of people and personalities, and where guys want the ball and how to handle situations. So I think that piece helped out a lot.
Yeah. What was there ever a time when you were playing pro basketball, you're like, why the hell am I here and what am I doing?
Yeah, I think my first year especially, I was in a little town in Italy, Jesi, and no one really spoke English, homesick, away from. When you're in college, you don't understand how great you have it, facilities, resources. Then you go overseas and you're stuck in this place that you don't know how to get around. So I think there's a couple of times I was like, I don't know if this is going to work out for me. But then it ended up being the best experience of my life, just because you learn how to adjust, you learn how to adapt. And I was lucky enough to play in great places. So ended up being an awesome experience.
Yeah. I think people don't understand, and you find out very quickly when you're playing over there. Like everything's not going to be done for you.
No, you got to learn. You got to grow up quick.
Yeah. And hopefully you had enough Americans on your team to kind of help you. But you see some of these teams, it's like all foreign and the one American who speaks English.
Yeah, that's a tough situation. I was lucky. I had a couple veteran guys that were older, played forever, and they could kind of show me the lay of the land a little bit.
Yeah. What have your top priorities been? Some of your top priorities been as you've taken over as head coach? Like, is it recruiting? Is it, scheduling? Is it just kind of fundraising? What is it? What have been some of your top priorities since you slid over to the office?
Yeah, the immediate one was obviously hiring a great staff. So I was lucky enough to be able to do that. And then from there, the portal had opened. So it was just kind of full speed ahead, trying to put together a roster that made sense. And then once we got that and got all that stuff settled, there's been a lot more of the, fundraising, donor lunches and stuff like that, which for me is being, I played here and I have connections. So it's been actually a pretty cool experience, just kind of getting to know a lot of these people on a deeper level, but also just seeing the appreciation they have for St. Mary's and the school. So that's been a huge focus of it. And then once we got our players on campus this summer, it was everything kind of slowed down a little bit more normal. We could kind of work with them and start putting it together a little bit. So that's been probably the best part so far.
Yeah. How many more years does Mitchell Saxon have?
I wish he had a few more.
Every time I see him, it's like, oh, he's only a junior. God, he's been there like Evan Eschmeyer.
Yeah.
He's a big boy. I mean, I saw you guys. I'm in the Northeastern Ohio. I saw you guys last year in Cleveland, and I was really impressed. The size, like I always thought, I know Gonzaga's, got some size too. I always thought, the WCC didn't have size. Man, you guys have size.
Yeah,
I was like, whoa.
That's kind of been a staple of how Coach Bennett's always played, and that's something we'll keep. We want to, in our league especially, it helps us. And then I think once you get into those, games against those Power 4, Power 5 schools, you have to have size to be able to compete on the boards and to win some of those battles.
Yep. So we do this thing. It's called the shot clock. It's very easy. It's very, very light. It's part shrink psychologist, part life-changing, part what the hell did he just ask me? But, if it's a one-word response, one word, if you got a short story, have at it. So there's no right or wrong unless you're going to judge yourself, but here nor there. All right. So give me the biggest misconception of WCCC basketball.
I think it's kind of what we talked about before.
Yep.
It's a little bit underrated. Like that.
Yep.
There's it's a mid-major conference, but we got 3 teams in the tournament last year. So I think any given night you're playing a tough game, road or home.
Yep. All right. Biggest coaching influence and best coaching advice you've ever been given.
I'd say my dad. My dad, I grew up. He's been a high school coach for 42 years. He'd be the biggest one, and then obviously working for Coach Bennett. So those two would be the 2 biggest. And then I think the best advice I got was from a coach named Tyler Ogenin, who coached me here. He just said, be myself. Like, don't try to be Coach Bennett. Don't try to be Coach Smith. Just try to be who I am.
Yep. Okay. What's one coach you'd love to have dinner with, past or present, that you've never had dinner with?
Ooh, Dean Smith.
Why?
We grew up in a kind of a North Carolina fans. My grandpa went to high school with Dean Smith, so in Topeka, Kansas. So it's always been kind of the gold standard of what we thought of as coaches.
Yeah, Topeka's gorgeous in February. I'm Canadian, so I can say that.
Yeah.
All right, give me the toughest road environment you ever played or coached in.
Ooh, good question. Gonzaga's got to be up there. That's one of the hardest places to play and most fun place to play as a player, as a coach. They have an incredible atmosphere up there.
Yeah. Was it like that when you were playing?
Yeah. It's been like that since I can remember.
All right. Give me your funniest fan interaction you've ever had, either coaching or playing. I'm sure you've had some.
You get a lot of people have a lot of advice for you. So we've had a couple. I've had a couple where people said we should play 3 bigs at a time, 3 7-footers, and off the top of my head, I don't know. I'm sure in Europe I had a few interesting ones as well.
Yeah, I'm just laughing because I've heard some of the ones from Europe. All right, give me your funniest recruiting story.
Ooh, funniest. It's a great question. Off the top of my head, let me think for a second. We've had guys not show up to Zooms that we were supposed to be on. We've had some guys that are Zooming from the side of the road. We've had, those are probably the 2 most recent ones we've had.
Oh, really? Did you get them?
One of them, yes.
Yeah. That's that's always interesting. Some of these recruiting stories. It's getting tougher and tougher, obviously, to come up with them because there's really there is recruiting to a certain point, but now it's becoming a little bit more financial too. So,
True.
All right. So give me the Mount Rushmore of college basketball point guards.
Oh wow, God, you put me on the spot. Let me think. Are we going just St. Mary's, or are we going all?
No,
ever?
all time. I'll make it easy for you.
Okay. Growing up in Arizona, Mike Bibby was one of them when I was growing up.
Former guest, guy's a ball player. I mean, he still looks jacked. He still looks like
he does. Yeah,
he's pretty jacked.
Obviously, I mean, I think Hurley's one of probably the greatest that's played college basketball. I'm a huge Steve Nash fan growing up.
Santa Clara. Yep.
Yeah. And then we've had a couple good ones here. We've had Patty and Deli are pretty good point guards.
Pick one.
Oh, I can't. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you can. Pick one. You got to pick one. There's only four on Mount Rushmore.
I played with both. I'll take Hurley off the list, then I'll put our two guys there. That'll be my.
Don't be surprised if Hurley comes after you. He might tackle you while you're coaching next. But whatever. They each their own. All right. 2 more quick questions. If you were a candle scent, what candle scent would you be?
Oh man. Jeez. I'm gonna say cinnamon. I don't know.
Okay, that's cool.
Put me on the spot. I gotta. Some questions I've never thought of.
Yeah, but we think of them all the time. Or at least I do. Maybe Sam doesn't. He won't admit to it. I do, but he doesn't. These are the questions you're going to be asked in front of the media going forward. You're going to have. You're not. We ask the most random questions. So, all right, last question. All right, they're doing a Hollywood movie about your life. Okay, 3-part question. What would the title be? Who would play you? And what would the theme song be?
Wow. What would the title be? See, these are. Hey, I got to give me a little time to get prepared for these.
Media training.
Yeah, no question. I needed to. Or SID, you got to get me ready for these. The title would be. I don't know. The point guard. And who would play me? That's a great question. I don't know. I'll have to take some suggestions on that one. What was the third one?
Theme song.
Ooh, theme song.
That should be easy.
Should be easy. Maybe like
what would be okay? Let me ask you this: they're announcing now starting a point guard. What would the walkout song be? That's easier. What's your walkout song?
Well, I just listened I was at my son's 9-year-old baseball game, and somehow he had Morgan Wallen on there. But it would be, something like that. Something a little bit more laid back.
Yeah. Okay. So you gave me no answers on the last one. Point guard. Okay, that's probably already taken by Pistol Pete Maravich, but we won't go there.
He deserves that more.
I'm trying to think of. I'll think of. Gosh, I don't know. I'm usually pretty good at the most popular one's Denzel Washington, but I just don't see it.
Yeah.
No offense. But we'll think about it. So last question we usually end up with, Sam asks, what can boosters, what can fans, what can opponents expect from the Gales this upcoming season?
Yeah, it's an easier question, I think. I think you can expect a competitive, tough, gritty, unselfish team. I think that's what we'll kind of hang our hat on and let the rest of it kind of play itself out. Yeah.
And are you going to ever play Arizona State?
Ooh, probably not. Maybe we can get like an exhibition or a scrimmage at some point because it'd be a great game for us to play, but probably not a regular season game.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks.
Whatever. Stay away from playing family.
Well, yeah, but so then what happens when the Venus and Serena Williams play? They still have to play.
True. Knock on wood, if it could be in an NCAA tournament, it'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they like the Final Four, stuff like that. But Coach, you're going to stick on for one more second as we upload. We really appreciate it. We're really excited for you. I mean, you guys are not going to fall off one bit. It's just going to be great in St. Mary's. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll be back next week. You never know with the summer and people's plans. It just seems like it's going to be crazy. But we should be back next week on a Full Court Press, a college basketball coaches show.